Hey YouTube! For this video, my group has made a board game called Privilege to address the social justice issues of racism and social class. We hope you enjoy and find it very educational. The main purpose of our game is to educate students about the intersectionality of racism and social class. We will use the theories shown here to critically analyse our social justice issues. Bourdieu's theory applies in this rule as the dealer assumes the role of cultural capital, with the suits having different values. Greater cultural capital correlates with higher privileges rewarded by society, so players with higher suit cards inherit greater cultural capital. The first rule, therefore, demonstrates that racial discrimination against Indigenous Australians based on their deficit discourse of having low socio-economic status is a significant social justice issue. Post-colonialism also applies in the first rule, as the support deck symbolises a risk when players exchange their lower suit cards in hope of a higher suit card. As Mishra and Hodge highlight, Indigenous Australians also face risks vocalising their culture within society due to the effects of the colonial period. Yosso argues that social hierarchies and societal discourses are socially constructed, such as the deficit discourse of Indigenous Australians. According to critical race theory, race is a social construction, just like the hierarchy of the suits. These clips explicitly demonstrate that each subsequent card has a higher value than the previous card. Since this hierarchy is socially constructed, we can therefore see that racial differences between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians are socially constructed as well, which leads to the social seclusion of Indigenous Australians. The last rule explicitly relates to Bourdieu's theory and critical race theory. According to Bourdieu's theory, individuals within society employ their cultural capital resources in order to be socially accepted. This metaphor is highly applicable to our game, as it excludes students with lower suit cards while providing greater opportunities for players with higher suit cards. Hence, there is a power imbalance between the higher suit and lower suit players, just like there is a power imbalance between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. Also, the suits symbolise the different socio-economic classes within society. The higher suits may represent the dominating white society, while the lower suits represent Indigenous Australians who are perceived through the deficit discourse of lacking social class. Therefore, Gilbourne argues that from a critical race theorist's perspective, the majority of racial discrimination against Indigenous Australians is hidden beneath a veneer of normality. Gilbourne also believes that our societal discourses unknowingly establish standards for what is socially unacceptable or acceptable. Indigenous Australians, who are commonly perceived through the societal discourse of having a low socio-economic status, therefore become racially discriminated as they do not conform to societal norms. My group has devised two pedagogical strategies to teach students and raise awareness of racial discrimination of Indigenous Australians. The first strategy includes Indigenous cultural integration in classrooms. Cook and Butt show that extra professional development days to integrate Indigenous culture within classrooms at Herne Hill High School elevated the retention rates and social cohesion of Indigenous students. Therefore, the integration of Indigenous culture alleviates the socially constructed deficit discourse of Indigenous Australians lacking social class. Privilege is also in conjunction with the cultural capital game, which focuses on the cultural capital of Bourdieu's theory. It allows students to experience a glimpse of how society is constructed. Debriefing is the essential teaching tool that should be implemented with our game in order to foster critical thinking and advance students' understanding towards how cultural capital contributes to social inequality for students. This strategy helps demonstrate how the cultural capital, according to Bourdieu's theory, creates a power imbalance between middle and working class members. Mathematics is the first KLA in which our game can be readily applied. The game involves counting numbers in ascending order and interpreting patterns such as the different class hierarchies. These are part of stages 1 to 4 of the mathematics curriculum. Our game is also easily transferable to PDHPE, as students can see through the intersectionality of race and social class that there are individual and socio-economic factors which impact their health and future aspirations. These factors are discussed in Outcome 5.7 of the Stage 6 PE curriculum. Our game also relates to drama, as the high school drama syllabus teaches students about post-colonial constructs and societal discourses through dramatic techniques and theory. Our board game has both benefits and limitations. Our game is simple to play in several, if not all, KLAs. and elevates students' understanding of social diversity, inequality, and power imbalances within society. This is a significant benefit according to Victoria, who also believes that board games such as ours reinforce curriculum content. Nevertheless, Brown argues that since adults stereotypically view board games as children's recreational activities, our board game may be less favourable in broader learning communities to educate adults about intersectionality of racism and social class. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed.